Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. It is December 25th, and for Dephemerember 2024, we are looking for the prompt of a double tag and mechanical garden. Now, I'm a couple of days late with this, I will admit, because family came first over Christmas, and I've spent a couple of wonderful days with my children and my grandchildren, and we have basically had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs, and I've absolutely adored spending time with them. So now it's time for Nana to get back to work and catch up on the couple of prompts that I missed out on doing this week. So the first one is the 25th, so let's jump into it. I've decided that I'm going to jump in boots and all for this one. So we've got paint, we've got ink, we've got glue, we've got all sorts. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to go, because I'm combining a lot of media together that I haven't done for at least for a long time, maybe ever. So we're just going to see how it goes. So let's run through a couple of things, because I have done some prep beforehand. Now, in my stash, I have things like this. Now, I call these tag bases. So these were old 12 by 12 scrapbooking pages that I knew I was never ever going to use in a junk journal in the way that they stood. So what I've done is I have either cut them up into tag shapes and then decorated them with scraps of paper, or I've turned the 12 by 12 into a masterboard and then cut that up, and some of the tags are as a result of that. They have all sorts on there, like this one's got some tea-dyed book page, there's tissue paper, there's music paper, there's book pages that haven't been tea-dyed, there's lightweight scrapbooking paper on there, but it's in neutral tones. So there's a bit of everything on these, but they're really, really handy. And so I have days where I want to be in the craft room, but I really just have no idea what I want to do. So these are the kind of projects that I do. I make up bases for a lot of my ephemera. And so this is the result of some of that. So I've pulled out 4 because I need 2 for this project, but I may need a couple of testers as well. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to paint 2 first, maybe more if it goes horribly wrong. I've got a couple of silicone brushes. This one is a 2-inch, this is a 1-inch. The 2-inch is going to be my palette for the day, and I'm going to be painting using the 1-inch. Now, I've got 4 colours of Golden So Flat. Now, I love these paints. They are absolutely gorgeous. They've got a matte finish, which you cannot get with a lot of paints. But you do need to stir them before you use them. So the colours I've got are titanium white, ultramarine blue, yellow green, and cobalt teal. So that's what we're using for the first part of this prompt. So now, as I said, I'm going to use this as my palette. Hopefully these paints aren't going to be too liquid for what I want. So I've got here a pipette. I just want to put that in, and I'm just pulling, whoops, a bit more paint in than I expected. And I'm just going to put a blobble on here. Right, oh, there we go. All I want is this mere slightest bit. Just put those on the floor out of the way. So now what I'm going to do is grab, using this, and I'm going to grab some of each colour onto here. And then I'm just going to randomly pull the colours across. Now when they start getting a bit too messy, I'm going to clean it off on this one. But this way I should be able to get the thinnest layer of colour on my tag. So now I'm going to go in and pick another one. I haven't yet, not too much of the dark blue this time. And I'm going to go up this way. Okay, so we didn't get pick up a lot that time. Not like the first time. Maybe I took too little amount off there. Cool. And I love that I can still see that text through that. Now, the paint on the mat is still wet, but most of the paint on here is virtually dry already. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside just to give it some extra dry time. It doesn't really need it, but that's okay. So I've cut a couple of circles. I wasn't sure what size I needed because I'm using some more of these scraps. Now these are the chocolate wrapper scraps that I got from Tanya as part of my swap, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get the full 1.5 inch circle out or whether I needed to go to the 1 inch, but I think I'm going to be able to get this out from at least here, and it doesn't worry me if there's like this little stamp on here. I'm okay with that, and I'll use this anyway. So what I want is glue, because I need this to dry out a little before I use it further. Now, I'm putting on a bit more than what I probably normally would, but that is because I am about to spread it out because I want it evenly, but I want to make sure that the entire thing is coated with glue, hence the spreading with the finger. And I know you always lose some glue onto the finger, but also I wanted it to be as smooth as possible. Now here's my largest piece of gold foil. So that's there. I'm now just going to I'll probably use this tissue, I think. burnish this down. Because I want to make sure that it's well and truly adhered on. So we should be good with that. So I just need to put that aside to dry. We don't need our 1-inch one. So now we can shift all these other bits just aside for now. I don't know that I need them, but just in case. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to do some stamping. Now these are some stamps that I have drawn and cut out myself. So it's just a very thin sheet of stamping rubber. So I've made what hopefully looks like a screw, wing nuts, and a hex bolt. And they passed the husband test. He knew what I'd drawn, so I figured that's pretty good. These are scraps of basil cardstock, 12 by 12 cardstock. The front here is textured, so I'm going to use the back. And I've got a selection of different grey inks. So I've got archival ink in watering can, Memento in London Fog, and Stays On in Stone Grey. And I'm just going to stamp a variety of these things on the strip here. And I've gone for very basic shapes. Now you might be looking at my so-called screws and going, Paula, that really doesn't look like much like a screw. I mean, where's the thread? And I have an answer for you. So this is what this teeny weeny little piece of cardboard's about. And for that, I'm going to zoom you in. Alright, so we've got that there, and we've got this little piece of cardboard. So, starting off with our London Fog. And what I'm going to do is tap the end of the cardboard into here, and then, and hopefully you can see without my hand being in the way, I am just going to, now I think I didn't press dark enough. There we go, draw my screw line. So let's lift that up even more. Can you see that there? Just finishes it off. I may need to do the darker one on here, but no, that's a bit better. I think I'm like flattening the cardboard, so I'm picking up a bit more glue. Not glue, ink. It's hard from this angle to judge whether I'm getting my distances correct. So yeah, that's pretty good. So now, and so yeah, all it is just a strip of cardboard. I thought about whether I tried to include the lines in my stamp, and I decided that because they were so fine, there was going to be no way that I could cut them out with my limited experience at making stamps. So, ingenuity to the rescue. Right, so I'm going to fussy cut all of these out, but while they're still on this long sheet, I want to punch the centre holes of my hex nuts. So what I need to do is pretty much mark where the centre is. Yeah, near enough to there. So, I mean, near enough is good enough. So, now I just need to make sure I can get the punch in far enough. And no, I can't. No. Okay. It's going to have to be. Sure you won't go in there far enough? No. No, not even close. And we're not going to call that a fail. We are going to go in and go for option 2, which is our crocodile. And although it's not quite 100%, it will do. So, get out. Get out, I say. Out, damn spot, get out. That's about the only Shakespeare I know. I think it was The Taming of the Shrew. Now that they're punched, I'm going to fussy cut all of these out. I'm just going to leave about a 1mm border on them, mainly because of the screws here. I want that to be seen around the side. But, yeah, wrong scissors. So, don't go anywhere, because it's just going to be the blink of an eye for you, and I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay, so they're all cut up and just been put aside for now. I am just going to very quickly colour in the scrap of, it's just craft card stock. I'm using a mix of brushed corduroy, walnut stain, and ground espresso, and distress ink, and distress oxide. Next, what are we going to do? First thing we're going to do is come back to our foil. So it's now had a good opportunity for the glue to dry. So what I want to do is just like fold the edge over. And then using an emery board or nail file, I am just going to, I probably only need the fine edge, just going to sand off the excess foil. Nice. Right, so put you over the side. Right, so now what we need to do is trim our circle in half. And hopefully that trimmed nicely and comes out. Yes, it does. Okay, so, right. So now I just want to, just going to pick a half. So I'm going to pick this half. I'm just going to sand this edge as well, just so it looks the same. And it is just purely for consistency. Right. Now we need this back again. Now I've got a selection of 4 brads. I didn't know which one I wanted. So I'm going to do them both together because I need them both to be aligned. So we've got the small hole. We are centering that on there and punch before we think about it and things move. For this, I think I want it to be brown edge. Right, I was thinking black, but I think maybe brown. I mean, I can always go over it again with black pen. So this is a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen, big brush, and the colour is Nougat. So all I'm going to do is just slide this over and kind of smear it. I might do a wee bit more. Right, cool, awesome. Just finishes that edge off just a little bit. So now we want this to kind of line up with this corner here. I like that. So, can you see it now? I think I might need to do some outlining with it and some shading. Now what we need to do is we're going to fold this in half. I'm just going to freehand this. Not sure if that's a good idea, but that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to just try one first. Okay, hopefully that will work. And right, so there. Now I want to do just a teeny tiny blob of glue there. Right, just sit there for the moment. So now we've got that there. So now we need all of these. Well, not all of them, some of them. But what I think I might do is, I was going to glue them on, then do some extra work to them. But because I want to layer them up, I think I will do the extra work first and then glue them down. So what I want to do is I'm using, and now this is my Tombow Mono Twin. It is a, where is it? It says it oil-based marker. So it's OSTME 33. And it's a dual, so it's a dual end. One's like a fatter nib, but the end I'm going to be using is the fine nib. And so what I'm just doing is going around the outside of this design. What I now want to just do is I'm just going to add some distress crayon onto these in random spots, and just to add a bit of texture. So, and these are in brush pewter, tarnished brass, and antique bronze. So then I'm just taking a water brush, and I'm just going to spread this out. So let's try bringing it down again. Whoops, wrong way. So here we go, this one here. And I've just got a pool of water. Even though it's a water brush, I find it's often easier just to use a pool of water off to the side. And then I'm just gonna just sort of smear these out and around to give a bit more tone and shading over the inking that we've done. And I want them to look a little bit distressed, and hence the 3 colours. And you get the shine now with using the metallic crayons that you didn't have before. Okay, so these have dried overnight, and I just love the way they've turned out. The mix of metallics on there kind of makes them look like they're dirty and rusty, and I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Probably easiest to see it. No, I want to show you a mix because I think they look awesome. And now I want to include them all in my thing, but they're not all going to fit, I know that. Now, one thing I've added an extra blob of glue onto this just because I wanted it to hang closer to the end of the spout. And also I thought it was hanging a bit too low, but that's okay. So one thing I didn't think of was I should have painted this background. So I'm going to try and do that now. I've pulled out Distress Inks in Forest Moss and Bundled Sage. I'm just going to put them on my craft mat here. And we will add some water. And then I'm using my water brush again, and I'm just going to kind of tint the background, I'm guessing I could say. Sorry, changing my mind. I was going to do walnut stain, but seeing as I've used this espresso before, I think I'm going to use this. Oh, doesn't that edge make a difference? Alright, so that's there. Now this one here, we did with the pen, but I'm just going to try putting a little bit of this on as well. I don't know if it'll, yeah, that's better. I think it's just softening that line still a bit more. Right, what we need to do is plant our garden, I think. I think that's about where we're at. Because what I thought I would do was use like the colours to convey kind of that distance, where the furthest ones in the back are the darkest. So we've got our stem, our leaves, and our flower head. I think that looks pretty cool. Right. Just, yep. Okay, so glue, here we go. So we've got this. Now we carefully slide that over the top. And now we need to decide which one we want. Or what about this green one? This is a fuzzy one. It's got a flat surface on it. Maybe I'll go with that one. Yeah, that's kind of cute. Now, I'm going to put that in. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to make sure these go sideways. So there, and now, give that a good press down, but not too stiff. So now, make sure that's under there. So here is my finished double tag and mechanical garden. So what should happen, and this is the big test to see if it works now that we're back in shot. So watch, so we've got our little wee brad, and I intentionally wanted a brad, not an eyelet, because it needs to be able to spin. And you see our water can, well, it's not a water can, our oil can is watering the garden. So that is my garden, my mechanical garden. So I probably didn't need 5 things of oil, but it just looks cool. And I love the way that they dangle. But also like that they hide in behind, and it's not until you, because you can see these, and that good idea there, Paula, for having these sticking out the side, because it encourages you to go, what is under there, and then you get to see the effect. So I'm really pleased with that. Now we need to find a page in our journal. There we go, right in the front. And first of all, let's put the date on. 25th, yes. 25th of December. So let's put it on the green here. 25th of December, yes. And just because I want to be doubly reminded of where I put it. And she's getting so full already. So can you see? Oh, yeah, now. Not, oh, a bit of lumpy bumpy there because of the cover. So we're going to go there. 25th of December. I like it. I like it a lot. Enjoy, have fun, and I will see you in the craft studio. Bye for now. I'm back. I was just putting everything away, cleaning up so that I could be ready for the next prompt. And I suddenly thought, well, I saw up on my desktop here these quotes that Tanya sent to me in the scraps. So I thought, okay, well, maybe one of those would do for a title for this tag. And see possibility everywhere just kind of seemed perfect. So I've cut it out of this sheet that I've used. So it's here in the full sheet. I'm just going to cut each of the words up individually. And I will ink around the outsides. So I just want to sort of give them a kind of even border. So I think just there, kind of right down the middle would be perfect. And we put the wrong word in, so I guess we're going there and possibility in the middle. Okay, not ideal, but Paula, check next time before you stick. I bet you were all talking to the screen, yelling at the screen, going, Paula, it's the wrong way round. Read it, read it. And I was just ignoring you all. And I apologise for that. I will try to listen harder next time. But all is not lost. It still looks pretty cool. Okay, now we are done. This time, I'll see you back in the studio. Bye for now.